There are over 5.7 million Americans affected by Alzheimer's disease.
Latinos are 1.5 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's.
African Americans are twice as likely to get diagnosed.
2/3 of those affected by Alzheimer's are women.
That's 3.4 million women.
The burden of caregiving falls on women, many of whom have to take time off or quit their jobs.
Alzheimer's is a women's issue.
El Alzheimer es un tema de mujeres.
阿兹海默病是一个女生问题。
Alzheimer's is a women's issue.
Until there's a cure, Alzheimer's Los Angeles provides the care.
We deliver outreach and education to diverse communities.
Our early stage programs give you resources and tools for the journey ahead.
And our care counselors support you and your family every step of the way.
Alzheimer's LA provides free support and services to those affected by Alzheimer's and dementia.
We know Alzheimer's is tough. Let's face it together.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 5th Annual Visionary Women's Event, benefiting Alzheimer's Los Angeles, and most importantly, raising money to support families affected by Alzheimer's or another dementia. I hope you have parked your laptop in a comfortable place and are ready to enjoy a unique experience as we honor and recognize 3 powerful women who have made a difference in the lives of others. You will be meeting Dr. Deborah Cherry, who after a decade of volunteering joined the staff and is celebrating her 31st anniversary working with Alzheimer's Los Angeles, and Janet Morris, a donor, a past board member, distinguished elder law attorney, and formidable advocate for us, and Martha Diaz, a caregiver for her own mother who searched us out and became a voice for us in the Latino community. I'm Sharon Lawrence, and I am proud to be in the company of these women, and trust me, you will be too. I said this was going to be a unique experience, and it is. First of all, I am sitting in a very lovely suite in the Peninsula Hotel in Beverly Hills. You know the one. And trust me, again, that doesn't happen very often. Usually this event is a luncheon, but we all know why we can't do that this year, so we decided instead to do an afternoon tea. And what better place to have one than the Peninsula or your own home? Now, I hope that you broke open the tea baskets that you received and have thoroughly plundered them all for the goodies that we know you'll enjoy as we zoom our way through the afternoon. If any of you watch Bridgerton, you know how interesting an afternoon tea can be. And while we don't have any scandalous royalty here or Lady Whistledown to guide us, we do have something for you that the ladies on the show like to do almost as much as gossiping: shopping. The Spring Boutique is online, and it's available for you to splurge on fun things which will tickle you and make us just a little spare change. Check it out on the Alzheimer's LA website. And here's something that should really motivate you. Every one of our vendors at the boutique is donating 25% of their proceeds back to Alzheimer's LA. And I'd like to thank them all by name. Blue Star International, Ellen Venner Fused Glass Art, Gourmet Blends, Jewelry by Cindy, Lavender Blue, Stella and Dot, The Tea Book, Trejulia, and Truffles and Toffee Inc. And the boutique will stay open through tomorrow for you to stock up on gifts to take to all of the people that you'll be visiting just as soon as we are all able to gather again safely. So here's another reason that this tea is unique. It is the kickoff of Alzheimer's Los Angeles' 40th anniversary. 40 years of serving the community with free programs and services to LA and the Inland Empire. 40 years of taking care of our own. All the money raised here stays here locally in the Los Angeles area. And here to share a bit of how we do that is another strong woman, Alzheimer's Los Angeles President and CEO, Heather Cooper Ortner.
Thank you, Sharon. We are grateful for your true friendship and support. Sharon has been working with us for many years, coming to our walks, standing up publicly to help raise awareness about this devastating disease. A visionary woman herself, we are so honored she has made time to host our afternoon tea. This event is always a special tribute to women, and it's not that we don't love the men in our lives, but the huge burden of this disease falls disproportionately on women. Women get dementia twice as often as men, and 2/3 of caregivers are women. It's a powerful sisterhood. As Sharon said, this year's event is unique, mostly because of the way we are all sharing it from the comfort of our own homes, or phones, laptops, iPads. Every year, we honor some extraordinary people in the world of Alzheimer's Los Angeles, and this year, I am overflowing with pride to help launch our 40th anniversary celebration by recognizing 3 particularly wonderful women. Tradition dictates, and it's not a hard one to follow, that we honor a caregiver because they are the true heroes of our community. Some people rise to the occasion to care for a close relative or friend, but there are those special people who go beyond that to share their knowledge and experience with the greater community. Today, we honor Martha Diaz, and I know you will be as touched by her story as we all have been. There are some people in the world who do things for all the right reasons, small things like consultations without compensation, and big gestures like serving on boards and working to improve access and care for seniors and their families. Janet Morris is one of those people, and we are lucky she has been part of the Alzheimer's LA family for close to 30 years. She has served in so many ways, great and small, and I'm excited to share her story with you here today. Dr. Deborah Cherry has been part of Alzheimer's Los Angeles since its creation and has left an indelible mark not only on the organization, but the national Alzheimer's community as well. Deborah was here before I got here, and she graciously showed me the ropes. When I meet people from anywhere in the country, they always say, "Oh, you work with Deborah Cherry, she's amazing." And they're right. Today you'll hear just how amazing she is and how grateful we are to call her ours. As the president and CEO of Alzheimer's Los Angeles, I have the great honor of working with some of the most dedicated professionals and volunteers anywhere. Throughout today's program, you will see the impact of our programs and services on the people who participate in them. And you will see the impact of your support and the stories of the people you'll meet. Every dollar raised through this event and through everything we do stays local in our community, serving people in LA and the Inland Empire. Our programs are always free for families, and we could not do that without you. It is my pleasure to recognize our wonderful sponsors. Their support today means every additional dollar raised goes directly to our programs and services and directly to the care for our clients and community. Thank you to Alfred E. Mann Family Foundation, Biogen, Deloitte, Anthem Blue Cross, Bright Focus Foundation, Hirsch Family Foundation, the Kensington, Redondo Beach, and Sierra Madre, Acadia Pharmaceuticals, the T-Book, Titulia. I would also like to take just a moment to thank our wonderful board of directors and the amazing committee who worked so hard to bring this beautiful event to you today. Randy Jones and Jody Cohn, who you'll hear from in just a bit, have led a remarkable group of women who have figured out how to make an online virtual event feel intimate and special. We are so grateful for their leadership and for the dedication, creativity, and passion of the whole committee. I'd also like to thank the extraordinary staff of Alzheimer's Los Angeles for all they do every day. But Brian Welch and Melly Kamvangsa have gone above and beyond to ensure that you have the very best experience a virtual event can provide. Dedication, creativity, passion. 3 things all our caregivers have in abundance. And throughout today's event, we will be showing you some examples of the work they do every day. We call these mission moments, as they so clearly illustrate what Alzheimer's LA is all about and how we impact the people we serve. And the moment has come.
In our community, we don't talk about those things. It's almost as if it's like shame, like, oh, you don't want to talk about sickness, you don't want to talk about being hurt, you don't want to talk about anything bad. But that's not good. We need to talk to each other and share experiences so we can learn from each other. For years, my dad was the rock. He was the one taking care of my mom. She had developed some memory problems for years, but it seemed harmless. She just was forgetful, things she had to repeat over and over again, but my dad was the rock. So it wasn't until 3 years ago when I realized my dad was also starting to have memory problems. And so at that point, myself and my siblings, we had to get involved to say, hey, what's going on here? The advice that I'd give to other caregivers is to communicate with others, to talk to others.
Before we go to our first award, just a reminder, the Spring Boutique is up and running and will be available through tomorrow. Lots of wonderful gift ideas are waiting right there. Our first honor of the afternoon is going to be one of our stellar caregivers. And to present it, I'd like you to meet a key member of the team at Alzheimer's LA. This dedicated woman can be found at our East LA office, where she, as manager of the Family Services, provides guidance and supportive services to families caring for a loved one with Alzheimer's or another dementia. Here's Angie Moran.
Hello from East LA. Every day I deal with an army of caregivers who, in addition to seeing to the needs of their loved ones, are struggling with working in a multicultural, multilingual, but definitely not multi-served community. These caregivers are clearly really special people, and among them is one woman who I am so thrilled to see honored today. Martha Diaz started with us, as so many of our caregivers do, with a person in her own family living with the disease. As her mother's dementia progressed, Martha reached out to learn as much as she could about the disease and participated in our caregiver classes and workshops. She took advantage of our care counseling program to get one-on-one support and help develop a care plan just for her mother. Later, Martha realized she could take this knowledge and use it to help others in her community who were being underserved and sometimes ignored altogether. She became an ambassador to the local community, a touch point for so many other families who were suffering, helping us conquer the language and cultural barriers that often resisted us. She is a voice for us on Spanish media, at churches, wherever she is needed. When her mother passed away, Martha graciously and publicly thanked Alzheimer's LA at her funeral and highlighted the importance of seeking services when you need them. She also passed out flyers for our annual Walk for Alz LA. Now that's passion. As the pandemic set in, Martha went virtual, organizing classes in Spanish to train caregivers, starting an online exercise program, selling candles and chocolates to raise money for her closed church, organizing food distributions for seniors in Boyle Heights. Her work attracted the attention of city council members who pitched in by donating bags of toiletries to distribute to those seniors. All this while still working as a caregiver for her family. Women like Martha are the core of who Alzheimer's Los Angeles serves. They are our frontline workers. I am so happy to present the Caring Hearts Award to one of the most frontline workers I know, Martha Diaz.
Hi, Angie. How are you? Thank you so much for presenting me with this beautiful award. Hello, my name is Martha Diaz, and I'm honored to receive the Caring Hearts Award. I do it naturally out of recognizing the need. I do it out of compassion and community. I do appreciate your gesture of acknowledging me, my efforts. Muchísimas gracias a todos por su apoyo y su amor. Congratulations to Janet and Deborah.
I can't leave her alone. But I can't think of anything that I would want to be doing on my own. It provides us with something that we do together, you know. It's almost like therapy for both of us. But primarily it's something for her to do where she finds herself more than in anything else. I try to make her laugh as much as possible. We enjoy the music, you know, we get a kick out of that. But no, there's no extended conversation. You know, I miss the friend that I had who could do things on her own and who we could have a conversation about whatever. You know, I miss that. And a couple of times when she's broken down into tears because of the depression and the confusion, I've used the word, you know, that you have a problem, you have Alzheimer's, I'm here to help you, And she'll say, well, if there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with you too. And Phyllis is correct in that sense because it affects us both very deeply, but it is my wife, and I'm still very much in love with her, and whatever she needs, I'm going to be there to take care of it.
We'll just stay so long.
As those of us who eagerly binged all of the episodes of Bridgerton know, sometimes the best dressed person at a tea isn't a lady, it's a gentleman. And as any of you who have been to a previous Visionary Women's event will remember, there is one gentleman who has definitely made his mark on this event and on Alzheimer's LA. Harold Foonberg has once again stepped forward as the man of the hour. Harold has selflessly dedicated himself to caring for his beloved wife, Eleanor. And today, Harold is truly our champion and is challenging all of you to join him. I'm proud to announce a $10,000 matching gift, so lovingly dedicated in Eleanor's honor. But you know what that means, that in order for Alzheimer's Los Angeles to see the full benefit of Harold's generosity, you need to help us raise an additional $10,000. On the screen is a very simple link. Type it into your phone or computer browser just the way you see it here, alzheimersla.org/give now. And once you're there, all you have to do is complete a very simple form and put in your credit card number. That's all there is to it. Easy peasy. And while you're doing that, you will know that your gift provides. Raising $5,000 today will help caregivers who are even more stressed and anxious than usual because of the pandemic. They'll get temporary relief from their rigorous daily schedule by providing some much-needed respite care. So help us give them the break that they deserve. $6,500 will help support our helpline. People call for information and education, but they also call in when they are in crisis. And so many families are in crisis today and they don't know who else to call. But we are there for them, and we help them face it. With $10,000, Alzheimer's LA will provide emergency support to families as part of our ongoing response to caregivers in crisis due to COVID-19. And some of the emergency needs that we've heard about recently include paying rent, access to food, affording medications, getting their hands on PPE, and medical expenses not covered by insurance. To help us raise $10,000, and your gift will be doubled by Harold. Together, we will make a difference in the lives of so many people. Thank you. Your gift, it means so much. As I mentioned in the beginning, this event has been beautifully curated and put together by a remarkable committee of more visionary women. Liz Kantz, Jody Cohn, Beth Devermont, Barbara Kingston, Susie Levin, Monica Moore, Tracy Pauck, Randy Jones, Linda Theben. This fabulous group of dynamic women was led by two other remarkable leaders. The co-chairs of our event are my pal Randy Jones and Jody Cohn. And Jody will join us in just a moment to introduce our next honoree. But Jody, you should know, is an accomplished professional and powerful woman in her own right. Jody has been a gerontologist for over 30 years with a background in healthcare and aging. And she knows our next honoree well for the time that both have spent working in the field of aging and from her time at the VA. She began working with Alzheimer's LA when she was at SCAN Health Plan and has been involved with this event as a committee member for the past 3 years. A true community leader who dedicates her time and expertise to several nonprofits in Los Angeles, including serving on our program committee. We are privileged to call her ours. So please welcome Jody Cohn.
Good afternoon. What a pleasure to be part of this special virtual tea. You've heard all the lawyer jokes. You've heard what Shakespeare said about lawyers, or at least what he had Henry VI say about them. But let me tell you something, they were not talking about Janet Morris. From the very beginning, Janet was interested in serving the underserved a segment of our population that is chronically overlooked, the older population. Janet started working with senior clients long before they were referred to by anything so polite as seniors. Into this tricky minefield of jurisprudence stepped my friend Janet. It can be draining, frustrating, heartbreaking, and she's made it her life's work. In addition to fearlessly serving her clients, she has also become involved organizationally through the aging community, lending her talents to this particular organization for decades. She's a recognized leader who's respected and admired by everyone for her clear vision and deep empathy. She is also known as someone who gets things done. Janet donates her time to be an expert speaker at community events on our behalf. She stays long after they end and answers every person's questions. She's a treasured part of the Alzheimer's LA family and was a key person in the creation and development of El Portal, an award-winning program targeting the Latino community. El Portal was the first successful model to serve this community in a meaningful way, and it has been replicated across the country. Janet's leadership, expertise, and insight into the community were critical to its successful implementation and to setting the tone for Alzheimer's LA's continued dedication to serving diverse and underserved populations. More than that, Janet was a longstanding board member, providing guidance to help this organization grow over the years. Even now, I'm honored to serve alongside her on the program committee. Janet's dedication to improving and ensuring policies for our community is unwavering. She not only continues to serve on our public policy committee, but she schleps to Sacramento and Washington whenever we ask to advocate for better policies for our community and more money for research. And unusual among lawyers, even if she has 10 plates in the air, if a client needs her, she will find a way to juggle 11, often when the client has no real means to pay her. She presents us with a real dilemma. We need more like her, but she is irreplaceable. I'm delighted to present the Breaking Boundaries Award to the remarkable Janet Morris, Esquire.
Thank you, Jody, and thank you for those very kind words. I'm very grateful for this Breaking Boundaries Award, which I'm honored to be sharing with my esteemed colleague and co-disruptor, Deborah Cherry, and with the unbreakable Martha Diaz. Unlike the other disease that has captured all the headlines this year, there is no miracle vaccine for this condition that affects so many of our loved ones. Until there is a cure, our job is to support the research, but most of all, to support the caregivers who carry the largest burden of Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. For over 30 years, I have partnered with Alzheimer's Los Angeles to bring advocacy, education, and training to communities that were historically ignored and underserved. The work we did in the 1990s through the El Portal Latino Alzheimer's Project and replicated in other underserved communities is still yielding results throughout Los Angeles today through increased awareness of the disease and greater access to diagnosis, support groups, and education. I am proud to have been part of its realization. It won awards, but you don't stop work because they give you an award. It's a challenge to do even better work. And that's what we must do. Put our focus on the clients and the caregivers and spread the wealth of knowledge among everybody who needs help. I am also extremely proud of lending my voice and my legs to Alzheimer's LA's public policy initiatives, marching through Congress for the good and honorable purpose of raising money and awareness to find a cure and to support caregivers at the federal and state levels. I'm excited for the young people who have taken up the cause, joining the youth movement for Alzheimer's, including my niece, Sophia, who has accompanied me over a half a dozen times to Sacramento and Washington, DC. Just between you and me, a kid is always the secret weapon of getting extra attention from lawmakers. One of the things I tried to do over the years is to spread knowledge of available resources throughout the community, to increase access and empowerment. This has involved a good deal of speaking, representing, hosting, schmoozing, and most of all, getting lost on freeways way back before we had GPS. And for those who know me well, even since I had a GPS. But I don't regret a minute of it. The first thing that happens to people when they are confronted with the reality of Alzheimer's is fear, a fear that must be fought with the help of people who have been there. Friendship and openness ease that fear and let the new client know that there is someone on their side who understands what they and their family member are going through. I have always been available to the community that needs legal help, but most of the time that means social and emotional help and support as well. With partners like Deborah Cherry, Kathy Ladd, Heather Ortner, our fearless leader, and the board of directors of Alzheimer's Los Angeles, volunteers, supportive grant makers, my family and friends, and wonderful donors like you have kept me and keep our mission alive and on track. It breaks my heart that we can't do this in person this year, but this year is not forever, and it gladdens my heart to see that so many of you out there have put down your crocheting, your knitting, your books, and your brooms to join us here today. Thank you for acknowledging my work, but mostly, thank you for being here.
I always remember how he always took everything with a positive attitude. He made me laugh, he gave me massages. I used to work in the mornings and my husband used to work in the evening, so it was hard for me to notice the signs until the barber called to my attention that he paid her twice. And then I noticed that he started asking the same questions over and over and over. And that's how I said, okay, there's something in here that doesn't sound right. Even though we've been going through this journey with a positive attitude, it is a tough journey. Every day is different. You have good days and you have challenging days. For me personally, it's been really helpful because it has helped me to walk in the shoes of a person that is suffering from this disease.
Despite the challenges that we've faced and that he's facing, he still can smile and, listen to a song and start moving his body and, feel the rhythm. I just feel like if he can still smile, then I still can too.
It's so wonderful to share these stories of our caregivers. And about giving, the Spring Boutique is loaded up with stuff just perfect for giving. And by buying something, you'll be giving to us as well. It will be online through tomorrow. Now, there is a power in the number 3. Just think of Shakespeare's 3 witches, or the ones in Hocus Pocus. So it's appropriate that today we honor 3 women. However, as we've seen so far, these women all toil for good, and their prophecies always seem to improve people's lives. So here to introduce our 3rd honoree is yet another powerful woman in her own right. Randy Jones is our other co-chair for today's event. She's also a current member of the Alzheimer's Los Angeles Board of Directors. And Randy has a law degree from Columbia University and a clinical psychology degree from USC. As a volunteer for Alzheimer's LA since 2009, she's done so much to support this organization, including working with our next honoree as her research assistant. Randy serves as a volunteer and a board member for a number of LA nonprofits, and we're so thrilled that she's a part of our Alzheimer's LA family. Please welcome Randy Jones.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm so pleased to be here to help kick off our year-long celebration of Alzheimer's Los Angeles' 40th anniversary. And I'm also celebrating 20 years of friendship with our next honoree, Dr. Deborah Cherry. I was a student in clinical psychology interested in finding out how you treat and care for a person with Alzheimer's disease. Deborah was already a goddess in the world of dementia care. She started as a volunteer at Alzheimer's LA in 1981 and had been on staff for about 10 years when I met her. And for reasons which she may someday explain to me, she elected to share her wisdom and expertise with this particular student. I ended up working for and with Deborah on a couple of projects, and I could ask for no better teacher or, finally, colleague. Deborah is recognized nationally as a leader in this field. She is a champion for our cause and a warrior for people living with Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia, and for the people who love and care for them. But Deborah is unique in this world. She has the very rare talent of, first, being able to clearly see and define problems and challenges facing our community, and second, being able to strategically envision the whole cycle of events needed to create true impact. Once she sets her sights on addressing a challenge, she develops a concept to address it, finds a funder and secures the funding, supports the program team in implementing it, proves it works, shares it with others around the country so it can serve more people, then advocates at the local, state, and federal levels for policies that make it accessible to everyone. Yes, she does it all. She has dedicated her career to improving the lives of people with Alzheimer's and other dementias and the people who care for them, whether unpaid family and friends or professional healthcare providers. She has the uncanny ability to read the environment and see what needs to be done. Her skills, and therefore her impact, span the areas of program development, politics and policy, and the healthcare arena, but she never loses sight of what caregivers need. Deborah has always had twin goals. The first is to improve the quality of dementia care, which led to the national award-winning program, Dementia Cal MediConnect. The other is to improve access to dementia information and services for underserved populations. Years before I met her, in 1992, she wrote the first grant for Latino services, raising over $1 million in Los Angeles County with the help of community partners, including our other honoree, Janet Morris. Deborah is so well respected as a leader in our country that she was nominated to a 4-year position on the Department of Health and Human Services National Alzheimer's Project Act Advisory Council, which makes recommendations on national priorities and policy issues impacting families with Alzheimer's and other dementias. Her list of honors goes on for pages, and there isn't time to read them all, much as I would love to. But they include the Award for Excellence in Program Innovation from the Archstone Foundation and the American Public Health Association for the Alzheimer's Health Education Initiative, the Rosalind Carter Caregiving Leadership Award, 2 Rosalind Gilbert Caregiving Legacy Awards in diversity and in public policy for the Dementia Cal MediConnect project, the SCAN Foundation Award for Innovation in Healthcare for Dementia, and the list goes on. It's been my privilege, my great privilege, to be a witness to, and on occasion, a participant in her tireless efforts. And it is my deep honor to see her recognized today by the organization she has so peerlessly served as a volunteer and as a professional for so many years.
When I started at Alzheimer's Los Angeles, this organization was a voluntary organization run by volunteers, and I am pleased to count myself as one of those early volunteers, and I tried to help this organization grow. My primary role is to be looking at what the needs are of our community and to look for the funding so that our services match the needs of our community. Outside of work, I like many things. I think my passion is travel, and I do travel quite a bit all around the world. I also love to cook. For people who haven't been touched by Alzheimer's or caregiving yet, I'd like to quote ex-First Lady Rosalind Carter, who said, "All of us either have been caregivers, will be caregivers, or will have somebody taking care of us. This is part of the human condition."
Deborah, I am thrilled to present you with Alzheimer's LA's 2021 Breaking Boundaries Award.
Hello, I'm honored to be here today, and I want to thank the Planning Committee for creating this lovely event. As you may know, many people spend their lives trying to find meaning, but for me, this has never been a problem. Working on behalf of people living with Alzheimer's or a related disorder, and on behalf of family caregivers, has given me as much benefit as I hope I've given back. Over the past 40 years, Alzheimer's Los Angeles has allowed me to use my skills to advance a field that was in its infancy when I started my career. Working first as a volunteer in the 1980s and then on staff since 1990, I believe that along with my colleagues, we've made a difference, especially in two critical areas. One, improving dementia healthcare for people living with these diseases. And two, improving access to culturally capable care for underserved communities and for under-resourced families. I want to particularly thank my colleagues on staff, Kathy Ladd, who's been my partner at this work for over 40 years, and Heather Cooper-Ortner, Jennifer Schlesinger, and Barbara McLendon for their ongoing commitment to this cause. I want to thank some longtime community partners and friends who are here today, Laura Trejo, Yasuko Sakamoto, and my co-honoree, Janet Morris, for your years of collaboration and creativity. Congratulations, of course, also to Martha Diaz, another one of our wonderful honorees for the Caregiver Award. I'd like to thank Dr. Stephen Zaret and Phyllis Amaral for starting me down the path that became my passion. And finally, I want to give profound thanks to my dear husband, Joe Kohansky, and our son, David, both of whom have been completely supportive of this work, even when it meant asking to pick up my share of the household chores so that I could attend yet another meeting out of town. I'm very proud of Alzheimer's Los Angeles and how it's grown over the years, of its value base, of the work we do. This is an organization that makes a real difference in people's lives. And it's an organization that continues to make meaning in mine. So thank you, Alzheimer's Los Angeles, for this wonderful award. It's greatly appreciated. And now I'd like to turn the program back to Heather.
This has been such a lovely event. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon, and special thanks to Sharon for hosting our afternoon tea. It just would not have been the same without you, and we are so grateful for your continued support and friendship. I am thrilled to announce that we have surpassed our goal for this event. So thank you again to everybody who donated today. But don't forget, it is not too late to visit our spring boutique, which will stay open through tomorrow. Thank you once again. Have a great weekend.
On behalf of the Alzheimer's Los Angeles Visionary Women's Afternoon Tea Planning Committee, we hope you've had a wonderful afternoon, and we wish you many great cups of tea. Thank you.
What's high tea without music? That's not a trick question, and we have the answer. Singing one of John Lennon's modern classics, here are The Company Men.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. nothing to kill or die for. No, 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 no religion to imagine all the people, all the people living life in peace. You might say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, oh join us, and the world will live as one. And the world will live as one. The world will live as one.
Ah, this has been so pleasant and so inspiring that I hate to see it end. I'm going to spend the rest of the evening trying to be as elegant as this affair. So, before we go, I just want to wish you a wonderful and sparkling weekend. Bottoms up!